Haroon was a little boy who lived in a village on the outskirts of Karachi, Pakistan's largest city and port. Haroon used to go to the small primary school in his village, which was about a mile away from his home. His classroom was quite spacious, with straw mats made of woven palm leaves laid out on the floor in long, straight rows. Children sat on these mats, facing the teacher who sat at a desk in front of them. There were no tables or chairs for the children, only a desk in the front of the room for the teacher's use. In addition, there was a shelf in one corner with copies and books for the children, and a blackboard in front of the room. The room had a small window through which the teacher could keep an eye on the activities outside, and there was also a parrot in a cage, which held the children's notebooks and other materials. Apart from these few items, there was no other furniture in the room. This was a common setup in the small schools of the villages during those days. Haroon was a good boy who respected his elders, parents, and teachers. He would wake up early every morning to have a timely breakfast before setting out on the long journey through the fields to reach school. Haroon worked hard and always completed his schoolwork on time. He followed his parents' advice to never leave today's work for tomorrow. During break time at school, Haroon played kabaddi with his friends in the open field. Kabaddi is a popular game among the youth in rural areas of Pakistan, and Haroon enjoyed playing it. Next to Haroon's house, there lived a washerman named Taju. Taju had a donkey on which he would ride to a nearby village every week, collecting bundles of clothes from the villagers. Riding on the donkey's back, Taju would then go to the river, wash the clothes, and bring them back to the village. Taju had a peculiar habit of hitting the poor donkey's legs forcefully when riding, and the donkey would make a loud, dreadful sound, dine hoo, every time Taju struck it. This sound troubled Haroon, and he often couldn't sleep at night due to the donkey's distressing noise. The following day, as Haroon was going to school, he observed Taju hitting the donkey again. This time, Haroon decided that he had to do something to save the poor animal from such harsh treatment. However, he couldn't come up with a plan. As time passed, the donkey became weaker and older. Taju, too, grew old and feeble. Due to these changes, Taju couldn't collect as many bundles of clothes, and as a result, he became even more impoverished. Now Taju struggled to feed the donkey and found it challenging to take care of the animal's needs. Haroon continued to excel in his studies and, during the final exams at the primary school, he achieved the highest marks in his class. The headmaster not only awarded him a certificate but also gave him a special prize. Haroon became well known throughout the village for his academic success. Delighted with their son's achievements, Haroon's parents promised to buy him anything he desired as a reward. That night, when Haroon, the little boy, went to his room to sleep, he heard the same distressing sound of the donkey coming from a distance, dine hoo. At that moment, Haroon made a decision. He would ask his parents to buy Taju's old donkey the next day. The next morning, when Haroon requested to buy Taju's donkey, his parents were surprised. They asked, "Son, what's so special about Taju's donkey? You can have any other animal." But Haroon replied, "No, Dad. I want to buy Taju's donkey. Let me explain why." Haroon then shared the entire story of how Taju mistreated the donkey and the poor animal's plight. After hearing the story, Haroon's parents were amazed at their son's compassion and agreed to buy the old donkey from Taju. Haroon and his father went to Taju's house the next day, and after some discussion, Taju reluctantly agreed to sell the old donkey to them. Haroon and his father brought the donkey home and set it free in the large backyard. They promised never to burden it with heavy bundles of clothes or hit it with a long stick again. Instead of feeding it dry grass, they provided fresh green grass for the donkey to eat. The donkey, once weak and feeble, soon became strong and healthy. Haroon, the little boy, was delighted to see how happy the donkey was in its new home. Now, Haroon would never have to hear those distressing sounds from Taju's donkey again. The little boy had successfully saved the old donkey from its harsh treatment, and both Haroon and the donkey lived happily ever after.